Hi guys, it's Erin the Tacky Painter, and today we're going to paint this abstract mother painting. If you enjoy painting this with me, feel free to click the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And you can also subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified when I add new videos every week. Now let's get tacky. So to start out, I've got my titanium white, my magenta, my Dioxazine Purple, and I've got a medium bright brush. I'm just dipping it in the water to get it ready and wiping it off on a rag. And I'm just going to mix some of my purple and white together. And I'm going to paint the left side in this light purple. As I'm painting this in, I want to remind you to use the picture-in-picture over there as your reference. That's why I've got it up there. I also want to say I'm using an 8x10 inch canvas sheet from Frederick's. And if you don't know how to trace an image onto the canvas, I'll have a video pop up here in the iCard to where I did it with my giraffe painting. I went through step by step and showed you how to use the traceable and to transfer the image onto your canvas. There's a traceable for this image on my website, and there's a link to my website in the description for this video. So notice I'm using the edge of my brush to go around the lines. It gives me more control that way. And remember, this is just the first layer of paint. Acrylics are all about the layers, so we're going to come back with another layer over this. So don't worry about it too much. I'm just filling it in. I'm using the edge of my brush to go around the hair. And going back and mixing more of the light purple color when I need to. I'm using Liquitex Basics paint today, but you can use any paint that you like and any colors that you like. Just have fun filling this in. Remember to try to breathe and relax. Don't hold your breath. And that side's painted in, so I'm going to rinse out my brush and wipe it off. And I'm going to get into the right side, and that is, oh, first I'm going to spray my palette because it was drying. And that's just plain water that I spray on there to keep the paint wet longer. I'm going to take that same medium bright brush and mix it into my Quinacridone Magenta and white. And paint in the right side. If I'm going too fast, remember you can always hit that pause button and catch up. Don't feel rushed. Don't feel stressed. So as I'm filling this in, I just want to tell you a little bit about this painting. I first painted this when I was still pregnant with my third child. And I wanted to do something to sort of commemorate that because that's going to be my last pregnancy. So we decided that it would be fun to wait and not find out the gender until the baby was born. So that's why on here I sort of got the blue color and the pink color, and I'm right in the middle. And so yeah, we waited and didn't find out till the baby was born, but we ended up having a boy, and we were very happy. And we named him Gabriel. I think I sort of subconsciously knew that it was going to be a boy because I put the sun on my belly. Get it? But I'm glad I have this painting now. so I can sort of remember being pregnant and what that felt like. And I hope this picture sort of expresses how grateful I was. So I'm just filling in with this light pink color. Remember, you can use any colors that you want. Using the edge of my brush to go around the lines. You don't have to be too careful because we're going to come in with more layers and paint in the hair. Just mixing more pink and white and filling in the rest. Spraying my palette again because my paint was drying too fast. And once it dries on there, then you can't work with it anymore. My palette is made out of glass. I made it myself just taking the glass out of an 8x10 frame. And when the paint dries on it, you basically just spray the water on and then it peels right up. So it's really easy to clean. Going on the edge of my brush again. If you need to use a smaller brush, don't be afraid to do that. Whatever gives you more control and makes painting easier for you. Going around her face. And just going back over any spots that need a touch up. And that side's done. So I've rinsed out my brush and I've got a smaller brush. It's a round, so it's got a little bit of a point on it. And I'm going to get into my pink and white again. And just touch up some of the details. This is a smaller brush, so it gives me more control. Going around the lips and the nose. And the hands. I'm going to rinse that brush out. Now I've got some Phalo Blue on my palette, and I've got my smaller bright brush, dipping it in the water to get it ready. And I'm going to do my next layer over the purple. So I'm taking blue and white, but I'm not mixing them together. I'm just letting the streak show. So I've got a dab of blue and a dab of white on my brush. And I'm just going to let it streak. I'm going to go up and down and side to side. Back and forth. Loading it up but not mixing it completely. Just letting it streak on the canvas and going back and forth with my brush strokes. I thought this gave it a pretty cool texture. It made it almost look shiny in some places where more of the white showed. Loading up again when I need to. I'm just making random strokes. I'm not trying to cover up all the purple. I'm intentionally letting it show through. More of the blue and white. Just making little T's, basically. And that's that side. Now I'm going to do the same thing over the pink. So I'm going to get some red out on my canvas. I've got some Napthol Crimson. So I'm going to take a little bit of red and a little bit of white. Not mix them completely. Just get dabs of them on my brush and then let them streak on the canvas. Just back and forth. Some vertical strokes and some horizontal strokes. And again, I'm not trying to cover up all the pink on this side. I want some of it to show through. Going back and loading up my brush again when I need to. Some streaks are going to be more red, some are going to be more white. That's okay, I want that variation. I hope you guys like that I have a separate camera for my palette because that took a lot. There was a lot that I had to figure out for that. So if you like it, make sure to comment because it was hard. But I'll try to have that in all my tutorial videos at least. More red. And I think that side's done. Nope. A little bit more. Remember, once acrylic paint dries, you can paint over it and change anything that you need to. So I'm just having fun putting this color in. I'm not worried about it. And now I think I'm done. So I'm rinsing out my brush, and I've put some yellow on my palette, and I've got my small round brush, and I'm going to paint in her skin. So I'm going to take some white and add it to my yellow, because yellow is very translucent, so the white helps it to cover better. And remember, you can use any colors that you want. You don't have to use the same colors as me in the same spots as me. I'm grabbing more of my yellow and white mixture and just painting in her skin. Remember, if I'm going too fast, to pause, and if I'm going too slow, you can always fast forward. Do whatever you need to do to be successful in painting this with me. Just painting in her arm. More yellow and white. I'm trying to be careful on the fingers, but also remembering that I have to paint in the green dress around them anyway, so I can go back and adjust when I need to. And painting in the sun. I don't want to try to paint the yellow over the green because it won't be as bright, so I'm painting the yellow of the sun in now while I'm painting over the white, so it will be brighter. More of my yellow and white mixture. Just going back over the small details on the face, because some of them were over the pink color, and since the yellow doesn't cover very well, I might have to do 2 coats to get the coverage I need. So now I've rinsed out that other brush, and I've got a small angle brush. It just means the bristles are cut at an angle, and it gives me a little bit more control. So I'm mixing the red, and I'm going to paint a strand of her hair in the red color. Remember, you can do any design that you want for the hair, any color that you want, any pattern. Just have fun with this abstract painting. Abstract, you can be loose, be creative, just do anything that you want. I don't do a lot of abstracts, but I do think they are fun and they're relaxing. Now I've taken some blue and just decided to paint this part of the hair blue. Using the edge of my brush, more blue. Now I've mixed some yellow and blue and a little bit of white to make a sort of tealish color. I don't know why I decided to make her hair so vibrant and colorful when I was designing this painting. It might be because while I was pregnant, my hair got really thick and beautiful. That might have been what was in my mind. I really don't know. So I'm rinsing off that color. And I decided to zoom in on the hair so you guys could see better. Taking yellow. And just going to put in a yellow strand. Remember, you wouldn't want to try to paint yellow over a darker color because it wouldn't show up, it wouldn't be as bright. Now I'm taking some yellow and red and making orange. You could just use orange paint if you have it. And I'm painting in an orange strand. More of that orange color. And just coming around, using the edge of my brush. Rinsing out because I'm going to switch colors. And getting into some purple. And where am I going to put that? Right next to the orange. I know it looks blue, but this is my purple. Maybe someday I'll have better cameras. That's my dream. I'm rinsing out my brush because I'm moving to a different color. Now I'm going to get some yellow and white, making that orange color again. And just coloring this part of the hair orange. Remember, you can take your time with this, you don't have to rush through it. You may also need to do 2 coats if the paint isn't covering very well. Depends on how bright you want your colors. I'm rinsing out. And getting into some blue. And coming right next to the yellow to add some blue. More blue. If your paint isn't flowing, you can add a little bit of water to it. That will help increase the flow. More blue. And I'm just using the edge of my brush to fill in. I'm rinsing out again because I'm going to switch colors. Got some purple now. I'm just putting some purple right by the yellow. Now grabbing some magenta. Now this one looks different than the first one I painted. So every time you paint something, it's going to look a little bit different. And yours is going to look different from mine. And that's okay. We're not copy machines. So every time you paint something, it's going to be a little bit different. Grabbing some more magenta and putting a little bit right here. Now just some red. Grabbing more red. And just filling in where I think it should go. Again, don't feel like you have to copy mine exactly. You can put the colors wherever you think they need to go. Grabbing more red. Just going over that spot again to make it a little bit darker. I'm rinsing off because I'm going to grab another color. And I'm getting into the blue now. I'm putting that blue right next to the orange color. I'm just filling it in. And I rinsed off, grabbing more red. And filling in that entire area with that red color. Remember, red is a very transparent color, so you might need more than one coat to get the coverage that you want. And I'm almost done filling in the hair. I'm getting some purple to fill in the last part. And I'm just darkening up where I already painted some purple, going over it again. And I'm going to adjust the hair up here, so I've just taken more Phalo Blue. And I'm just changing it a little bit. Filling the rest in with blue. Now before I add anything else to the hair, I have to let it dry. So I'm going to zoom back out and work on the dress. Now you could use Phthalo Green if you want to, but since I already have Phthalo Blue and Yellow on my palette, I'm going to use my smaller bright brush, mix the blue and yellow together until I get a dark green, and I'm going to use that to paint in my dress. And you can use any color that you like. You don't have to copy mine exactly. You could add a little white to this and make it lighter green. Whatever you want. I'm using the edge of my brush to be a little bit more careful. And I'm just doing my first layer on the dress. Grabbing more of that green. Mix more of that color when you need to, or just use Phthalo Green. Loading up my brush. And just breathe. Offloaded a little bit of paint there because I had too much. I wanted to have a little bit more control going around the fingers. You can use a smaller brush for this part if you want to. Just remember that the materials don't matter as much as the artist. You could paint with your fingers on a rock if you wanted to, and still get a pretty awesome result. So don't feel bad if you don't have the same materials as I do. You can still create pretty awesome art. Alright, almost done with this first layer of green, and I'm going to have to come back after this layer dries and do another layer on top. Don't be frustrated if you have to do that. And that first layer of the dress is done. So I'm going to rinse out my brush. I'm not going to let my brush sit in the water, that will ruin them. Okay, so that's dry now. And I'm mixing up that green color again, just my blue and yellow. And I'm going to do my second coat. And you'll notice your second coat will go a lot faster than the first, because paint likes to go over paint. It goes on a lot quicker and a lot easier. That's why an underpainting is so important. Being careful as I go around the fingers. Grabbing more paint. And that second layer is done. I'm rinsing out. Now I'm going to paint around her hairline, so I've got my smaller round brush and I'm getting purple and white. And I'm just going to mix those together and then draw a line where her hair meets her skin. Just to sort of clean up that edge a little. I'm rinsing out. Now I'm going to outline her hair on the purple side. So I'm adding white and blue. Adding some water to that to increase the flow. And I'm just going to outline her back where it's against the purple color with this light blue color. This is cleaning up my edges, giving it a more finished look. turn your canvas as you need to make it easier. Just don't stick your hand in the wet paint. And you can get this paint on your skin. It just washes off with soap and water. But if you get it on your clothes and you let it dry, it will stay there. I'm going around the hair with this light blue color also. Just outlining it. And turning my canvas so that it's easier. And we are almost done. We just have to do a few more details, like in the hair. I'm rinsing out my brush and wiping it off. Getting some white and some of my magenta or pink color, mixing them together, and I'm going to do the outline on the pink side. I added some water to my paint. That helps it flow off the brush easier. And I'm outlining on this side where it's touching the pink. And take your time with this if you need to. But remember, if you do make a mistake, you just let the paint dry, then you can paint right over it and fix whatever you need to. Trying to be a little more careful around her face. And you don't have to do this outline, it's just something that I wanted to do just to sort of touch it up in the places where it needed it. Grabbing more paint and turning my canvas so that it's easier. I just want to thank you guys for subscribing and liking my channel. I really appreciate it. Every new subscriber, I get excited. Grabbing more of that light pink color. And that side is outlined and done. We're almost finished, just have to add some details to the hair, add the sun's rays, and outline her body where it is against her dress. So for that, I've got some of my green mixture, adding some white to it, and I'm going to use that to outline around her skin. Adding water to my paint. You don't want to add too much water because then the paint won't stick, but just enough to help it flow. And I'm just going to outline her arm and her hand. And take your time. Hopefully you don't feel rushed when you're painting. Outlining her neck and around her fingers. You don't have to do this part. And that part's done, so I'm rinsing out. Grabbing some white. Just white. And I'm going to first paint the rays in white so that whatever color I paint on top of them, it will show up better against the green. Before I paint on top of that though, I need to let that dry. So I'm rinsing out my brush. Zooming in because I'm going to put some details in on the hair. So I'm grabbing white again. I'm just going to paint some lines over the red. You don't have to do this. Grabbing more white. And I'm just going to add some polka dots on this part of the red. More white. Adding some water to it. And I'm just going to paint a white stripe here between the red and the green. And I'll add another stripe of white here between the purple and the red. I'm just adding a swirl, spiral on the purple part of her hair. You can see in the reference photo. But feel free to get creative with this, do whatever you want. I'm rinsing out. I'm using that same round brush. I'm going to take some purple and white. And just add some tendrils of hair on her face. Rinsing out, getting some pink, adding a little bit of white to it, and just putting some blush on her cheek. Rinsing out again. I'm trying to make an orange color, taking my red and yellow, and I'm just putting the rays in on the sun. I know you can't see it, I forgot to move the canvas. But I'm just doing every other sun ray on orange color. Grabbing more of that orange color and just going to outline the sun with that color also. Now I've zoomed out. And now I'm almost done, so I just want to say there's always something to look forward to, and I look forward to painting with you guys next time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.